Hi and welcome. I'm here not on my own. I thought that I was. Well, I decided I needed to get on here and talk about these energies because they're quite spectacular and they are affecting everybody in different ways. So we're in, like, I want to say that it's so funny because I can hear this motorbike racing outside, and that is the energy that we're in. Like in the last maybe half an hour or so, that is, I've been shown this idea of being in a car that is a road racing car, not a track racing car, a road racing car going up these bends on the side of a mountain, and that's what we are doing. We are powering up this ascension track that's showing up as this track, this roadway around a mountain. So hello Ciela, hello Charlotte, hello Fiona, hello Billy, welcome. So we're in the most, honestly, I can't believe it. I can't believe that these May energies, they keep climbing, they keep getting stronger, they keep getting faster. They're so full of, like, I want to say tidbits of gold. They are firing up our spinal arrangement, and they are activating our codings. They are bringing us greater purification, and it's like the this whatever that song is, this I can't think what that the next word is on fire. It feels like that. It's like we're on fire, and yet it's also as though we're in all of the elements. There are aspects of all of the elements. So we're in this time of great change. Of course, the month of May is the 5th month. The 5 represents change. And by goodness, that is what we are amid. We're amid this incredible change, which can feel confronting and challenging and, yeah, evocative and provocative. And yet it will all be for good. And so that's what I would encourage you to sit in the kind of in the chair of, I don't know what this is about, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this, and I'm not sure what that bit's about, but it will show up and it will be for my highest good. And I'm willing to sit in the discomfort of that, and I'm willing to sit in the discomfort of not knowing as well, because I feel that's one of our challenges as humanity. So a couple of them that we're in that Gaia has spoken about, you will have heard me reference, is this giving up the need to know and giving up the need to be right. And so we're very much in the forefront of that as we're watching collapse. We're watching the old systems collapse. We're watching the ways in which they have not served us show up. We're watching the ways in which there's been a lot of corruption with money and a lot of things related to the child trafficking and sexual trafficking that has gone on, and the ongoingness of that across the planet. But it's coming to a halt. We are only coming into higher light and higher good now. Hello Sally, welcome. Yes, so here we are in this incredible month of May, and it really showed up to me as the patterns of change, and that these patterns of change are going to come through all of the elements. So it's, I've been shown, and I may have spoken about this to you, but this idea of, like something coming up from under the earth and cracking it open and pushing it out. And so that I once saw that as a giant. I saw this opening up, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I saw that there was a giant, and I'm like, what is the giant doing here? So I think, I don't know when exactly that was, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but I remember asking Gaia about the giants. And so anyway, when this giant showed up in its fullness, I could see that the giant had this book, which in his hand was like only this big, and on the cover of the book was written the Tales of Babylon. And she told me then that there were 7 epochs or 7 eras represented by the giants, that there would be 7 giants that would arise, and their purpose was in their arising, not that they would necessarily be seen. Although I spoke to somebody today as a client who talked to me about the fact that she is seeing these giants in the etheric. But back to that other story, so maybe some of you are seeing them now, is that what they did was, when they went underground, they were holding the DNA coding of their particular era. And so in their arising, they were enabling our access to the DNA from their given era. So we can see that that's a part of something that we are in at the moment. But these patterns of change coming through the wind and through the water and through the fire and through the eruptions in the earth, as we return to our original divine plan blueprint as planet, as humanity, as angelic, as the elementals, as however it is that we have come to be here at this time, but through all of those forms of nature. And so many of you will no doubt be having interesting conversations with the elementals, or maybe that's occurring in your dream time. But I bet you're having them. I bet you're seeing them, feeling them, noticing them, seeing them be playful as well. So I feel like where I am here now, I can see the elements in the sky, the patterns in the water, and this huge tree that has spoken to me, that is on the land. And then Gaia told me that why I'm here is to activate this land, not just this section, but this whole peninsula, and to activate it into the higher. So each of us has a role to play as the conduit. If you can imagine that you are this tall being, where your head, your crown is sitting up in the heavens, and your feet are down touching the center of the earth with Gaia, and you are this conduit. You are bringing in these codes from the higher, from the ancients, from the various eras and epochs, and you are bringing in the new as well, because we are now accessing codes and frequencies that have never been to the earth ever, is what I am told. These are brand new, because we are becoming crystalline. So this is another kind of theme, another flavor, if you like. Yeah, so I will read my notes. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Annika. So welcome everyone. So the patterns of change are upon the earth, and we will witness those through nature in all its forms. So we have seen, haven't we? We've seen some volcanic eruptions. We have seen some earthquakes. We have seen also some disaster. Excuse me. Oh, that caught me. Because I want to assure you, gosh, I'm sitting with a lot of emotion here, I have to say. It's going to be okay. There are going to be people who leave. They're going to leave the planet of their own soul volition. So I want you to know that many people have chosen to exit the earth at this time. They're complete. They've done what they came here to do, be that hold space for the new, be that to anchor in the dark, be that to complete a soul lesson, or to bring in and hold space for somebody else, or to complete some karma or some dharma or some contribution. We're in this closing off of this entire galactic epoch for Earth, moving into something brand new, and this is us moving from carbon to crystalline silica in our molecular form, and this is why you'll no doubt be seeing a lot more of that in a visual effect in nature. This frequency, you'll be feeling that, and I want to say the luminescence, the refracted crystalline light dancing on the waves and in the wind, and maybe you're seeing it in and on the leaves and other aspects of nature as well. Yeah, so remember that we are in this time of many earthquakes and many movements, both through the tectonic plates and in other places, because of this micro and macro effect of you and me and Gaia, that we are each in this period of expansion. And that expansion comes through release and purification. And it comes through this absorption of this higher light, these higher codes, these higher frequencies, which are expanding us into the next version, this 3.3 version of humanity. And so many of you leading the way in that, whether you recognize that or not, you are laying the track for others to follow energetically. High aspirations. It's going to be okay. Yeah, it is. Be you. Yes, Ella, it is. Really is. Yeah, so remember, we are in the time of many earthquakes and movement through the tectonic plates, as well as other aspects of Earth, as Earth's physical vessel is stretching and expanding in synchronicity with ours. So maybe you're feeling more light, maybe you're feeling more frequency, maybe like me, you're not sleeping at all, or maybe you're doing a lot of sleeping. I think that I did have some sleep yesterday, but not long, and I feel like I really haven't slept for maybe, I don't know, a week, and I'm fine, but I look tired. And I know that part of my role here is not fully defined to myself in this human vessel, and that I'm working with Gaia, and I'm working with the dragons, and I'm working with the creation codes, and that's part of my higher self work that I'm sure will be kind of illustrated or shown to me more clearly at some point. Less sleep, less eating, one meal a day. If that, I've just been this continual fruit snacker, and I don't know that I've eaten anything cooked for a bit, but I have been eating a lot of fruit. Okay, so yes, in the spine. So a lot of this, in my understanding, we're getting these activations and these, I want to call them codons. I don't know why. I might look that word up later. If I won't look it up now because then I'll lose my notes here. Because we're returning to this higher form, but it's through the human. So you will have heard me say a long time ago that Gaia said that we would ascend, taking our human form with us, and that's what we're in process with. So our molecular structure is changing from carbon to crystalline. So this is the change in the physical, this ascension in the physical. So not everybody will either have chosen that or be able to do that. Some will pass and then come back in the new time, in the new form, but everybody has chosen that at soul level. And remember that no matter what age we are in human form, many of us are old in our soul form, or we are special, we're new. We're new to this earth. We've come here to lay in the patterns for the new 5th to 12th dimensional earth. And so once we have kind of landed the 5th, laid in the 5th, anchored the 5th, then our evolution is going to be quite rapid up to that place. So more new land will rise, birthed from the ocean. You will have heard me say in the past that New Zealand rises up. So in recent years, it's been documented that New Zealand sits on its own sort of continental shelf, if that's a correct word for it, but it's on its own geographical landmass, and it's separate to the Australian landmass, and that this is part of ancient Lemuria, and that we will rise. And so I've been shown that we rise up out of the water. So I know that Rick Dewars is talking about this huge kind of water coming into the earth that's going to engulf land to quite an extent. I'm not convinced that that is being interpreted in the same way that I'm interpreting things. But I am showing that it's like the geographical form of New Zealand. It rises up out of the water and it tilts. And it tilts on the eastern coast, right through from the top of the North Island through to the South Island. So there'll be more land that comes on the east coast, is what I've been showing. And I feel that's imminent, although I haven't asked for a timing of that. The waters of consciousness are renewing and dispensing codes of higher light for further purification and up-leveling for all. And this comes through the waters that are internal of the earth and internal of you and external of the earth. The ocean, so we have on the internal of the earth, we have oceans and lakes and rivers and streams and waterfalls and springs, just as we do on the external of the planet. And so all of those waters are bringing through these new codes, coming into us through the skin, through what we drink, through the air that we breathe. And then source water, which is original Gaian water, returns to our planet, is what Gaia said. Our DNA is being smoothed and soothed, healed and sealed as we return to our 12 strands of DNA. That being as having activated 12 strands. And so it could come in an instantaneous flash, or it could come in a series of, and I think both of those are on the table as possibilities, and that it may be that some of us do one and some of us do the other. So I am feeling and showing that the solar flash is already in occurrence on one level. It's like a long flash, and then there's these intermittent flashes in between. And so where people are at will be according to sort of how awakened they are and what they signed up for, I guess, in their soul contract. But definitely we are already in process with that. And as those things come online, as our DNA is smooth, soothed and reactivated, then our gifts come on. And so for a lot of people, that's going to be related to telepathy, and that's going to become our common usage, our common communication, as we become more telepathic and less communicating through word. We'll be communicating through energy. And those of you who read energy, your energy can't lie, right? And so this is another part of that beautiful expose from Gaia about the molecular structure of a lie won't be able to be held together. So it's sort of showing up in so many variances. I love it. Yes. So then the other clairs, so those of you who, like me, are very visual, you'll start to see more imagery. Your clairvoyance will be more activated. We'll become more clairvoyant. We'll start to see more of the details, more of the nuance, maybe more colours. We certainly are going to have a new set of colour spectrums. And then, clairaudience, clairsentience, and For some, there'll be other clairs, like there's clair gustation, there's a whole lot of clairs that have finer, subtle nuances around smell, the use of the olfactory, and then taste, and then the crossover, and then musical rhythms and patterns and things like that. A desire for peace in the heart and bliss and well-being will create a more unified field. Feel into the energy of that in your heart as we move rapidly towards unity consciousness. And we are steaming there as first wavers envelop these higher levels. The rest of humanity is impacted. So that is part of our role here, is that we become the most awakened being, the most aligned being, our soul activated, our hearts activated, our minds coming into this greater authenticity, the higher mind leading the way, all of those aspects, the heart brain, the gut brain, all of those aspects coming into our soul alignment and for mission and purpose, and then it activates others. It's that blanketing, the wet ink, the ink on wet blotting paper effect. So many souls leaving at this time as this light illuminates and comes into the spinal fluid. So that may well be what is impacting you, Ciela. I want to say that with the spine, if you can put your hand, like not here, but here, and if you can relax your shoulders, and if you pull, you're not doing that with your head, you're actually pulling it. If you pull down like that, and if you have to, put your hand here and pull down, and just feel all those tendons and ligaments in the back of your neck being stretched. And as you keep pulling, you'll feel it all the way down your back. So you could try a few of those. So our human form shifting from 6 protons, neutrons, electrons to 7. That's our chemical upgrade. Be gentle with yourself. Hold yourself and one another in loving embrace. This is a really good time to just be in one another's arms and to be in your own arms. If there's not anyone else there, you can give yourself a hug. You can rub down this part of your arms. It's a very soothing place. It's also reflexology for clearing or for locking in a new way as well. As we traverse this time that has never been experienced in the history of the universe. So you put your hand up for this, and the reason that you did is because this is a unique experience in the history of the universe. So ascension through the physical form whilst remaining in the body. And this can be visualized in many ways. It can be through the chakra system, that's having an upgrade. It can be the rod and the staff, that's being upgraded. It can be through the Merkaba, which is the 5-pointed star tetrahedron in movement. That's the Merkaba, top and bottom. Drunvalo Melchizedek, he described that as the top spinning one way and the bottom spinning another, so clockwise and anti-clockwise. The toroidal field, so all of these, to me, they're showing up as sort of interlacing, interlocking and overlapping. So the torus of the heart chakra locking into the torus of the body, locking into the torus of the planet. So that's another way that you can see it. Each of these energetic layers and fields dancing with one another, overlapping into creating this unified field of consciousness. So old and lower frequency Earth is fading away, seen as the sunset slowly lowering itself behind or beneath the horizon. as eventually we will not be, um, or that will not be in the experience of the ascending ones, the lower dimensional aspects of Earth. The divide may be more strongly observed as the shift uh, creates a stronger polarity. So this may be part of our experience as well, just noticing the great divide, noticing that more people are leaving your sphere, that more people are having a disconnect, or you're having a disconnect with them. And I want to say to you that to me, it feels like it might just be a temporary measure, as first wavers are really kind of adjusting the dials. They are reconfiguring the new, and so don't need to have any interference anymore. It's like, eyes on the prize. So don't be concerned, as we all do eventually come into a unified field at a fifth dimensional level. This crystallining process does have a significant impact on the human physical body, including vision. So many of you might have been having sore eyes or blurry vision or sort of grittiness or bags under your eyes like me. And these upgraded eyes are going to enable us all to see anew and interact with these other dimensional beings, especially with the crystalline particles that are coming in this new holographic Earth. So this is part of our upgrade, is that we're going to be able to see into the field. We're going to be able to see into the fractals of the other dimensions. Yeah, so I got yesterday that we shift into another gear. I also feel that the money aspect of our world will disappear, but not yet. But I feel that we're on the edges of this receiving of the gifting for being human. So that it kind of equates with making sure that all of the creatures have enough to be sustained for healthy living. And in the human form at the moment, that includes an economic aspect, and it won't for forever. We'll go through a number of systemic changes with that, but it's my sense that this gifting of a monetary nature will come, and I really thought we would have had it by now. So that's how close it is. Yeah. Sunday. On Sunday, I woke up. I I actually did have some sleep, and I went to bed quite early, and then I ended up chatting with a friend in Australia. Um, then I sort of felt like I had a little bit of sleep on and off, but I actually woke up feeling exhausted. Are we having a rapid climb up the ladder, is what I wrote, to the next level today in preparation for a jump of a higher diving off a higher diving platform. And I was showing those um, flying suits, those beings in flying suits with wings, those winged suits for skydiving. That's what I was seeing moving around the edges of the cliffs. And that was the metaphor. We're riding the airwaves and the drafts of winds to the higher. We are being asked to surrender. Again, that was another aspect of that metaphor, even more, to drop into trusting the process. Just ride the winds of change and step more fully into who you are, your own power, and what you are wishing to both do and be in the world. I'll just come back to the chat here. Okay, Sally is saying that Kaikoura rose 1.5 metres in 2016 and 5 metres further up the coast. Ciela's light language has switched on. Okay, good. I'm glad your back's feeling better. Um, been doing that. Oh, I'm lost with what that is. Yes, eyes gritty. I look into the sun, which helps. Yes, and I think, we've been told so many lies about the sun, but the sun is our nourishment in many ways. Abundance receiving, yes. And Billy's saying have been abnormally tired today. Yeah, so lots of blessings and hugs to all of you. And I want to say, be aware that we're going through something that no one's ever done before, and we are like picking our way with it because it's unscripted. We're finding our way with it, and we just have to be really gentle with ourselves. Yeah, today, smooth uplifts is what I wrote earlier in the day. Energy from yesterday, or the energies from yesterday being distilled, that's the word that came. What is that word, Sharon? Oh, yes, transformation. That's a T, not an A. So alone time is part of the prescription for today, to spend time solo, to go deeply inner, to be in contemplation, and to be recognizing that we are in integration as we are finding our way to our own authenticity. When you know, you know. So what do you know? And what is your soul reaching for, or screaming for, or crying out for? What do you require? This is your internal inquiry to self. What does my soul require? Hand here. Ask your heart, ask your soul. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Exhale. What do you need? What do you need, soul? What do you need, heart? Wait for some inspiration. What is your heart's desire for yourself, for your family, for your relationships, for the people around you, for your community, for our country, for our world? You can't necessarily contemplate all of that in one day, but I invite you to pick your way through those questions. What do you call in for living in community, which is what we are going to move towards, this idea of working hand in hand with one another to create gardens and to be living in harmony with nature? And how do you envisage your day-to-day life? So that's quite a powerful step to take, to close your eyes and to envisage that you wake up in a morning, and on that morning, where are you, and how do you feel, and what does the day offer you? Conjure up how this looks, and then drop into examining how you feel, because the feelings, the emotions, they are the engine, the driver, the fuel for creation. So the mind may be in the conjuring up, but it is the emotions, the feelings of feeling in love and passion with your desires that fuels it up, that brings it in, that manifests it in front of you. And we can be, I want to say, in this sort of immediate, oh, this, now this, right here in this moment, the stepping through this. I'm calling it, with my clients, I'm calling it a creation basket. A basket here that sits for the creation of what is to come, what is desired, what needs to be, or is desired to be manifested. And feel your heart and be in the exploration of your emotional body. It will be talking to you right now, because there'll be things coming up, cellular memory being activated, rememberings from the ancient, rememberings from childhood, rememberings from back through time, space, and dimension. And it might be memories that you need to do some processing with, to let them go. And it might be memories for you to claim as your talents, as your gifts. Do you feel satisfied, joyful, jubilant, expanded, love-filled? Dwell in those feelings. They will really support you in the creation of the next. Yeah, and such love is available here for each of us. And yeah, interesting that just before I came on, I had this whole kind of idea about that I was in this stick shift car, racing up this winding road, and that's how quickly we're accelerating through our ascension process. Ah, yes, masculine, feminine balancing. Yeah, so the masculine, God bless the masculine. They are really, honestly, the masculine. So you'll be finding this within self, the masculine aspect of you. It's like within self, your feminine is able now to drop more into herself, more into that softness, into that vulnerability, into that nurturing, into that creation, because your masculine internally first and then externally is like, got you. So it's your masculine wrapping up and holding your feminine in this mode of protection and vision for bringing in this future creation that your feminine is in the movement with or the dance with. And so this is going to be happening in partnership as well, where that will be beginning for many. Anchored, feeling safe. Yeah. So just know that you've got it. You've got it. You've got yourself. Gaia has got you. Plug into that. These higher energies, they're challenging us to let go, to let go of the old, because we're coming into the unknown. But it's new. It's amazing, and we are in the co-creation of all of this, and so surrendering to it will enable us to feel into the, I don't know, I want to say, I feel that we are looking for the creation of new vocabulary as well, because we haven't done this before, we haven't felt this before, so we're looking for new words to describe it, which is the experience of the masculine right now, because they are in the awakening of their emotional body. And then the feminine, though, we are having that experience because we are in this higher frequency, this experience of this higher dimensional energetic frequency, light and sound codes, and it's activating aspects of us that we haven't been with before. So yeah, lots of new language I feel will come. And yes, light language may be a way. It's the thing about light language is that it circumnavigates the logical brain, and so it can be powerful. Yeah. So I've got me, I've got you, you've got you, you've got me. We've all got one another, and we can hold space for one another as we navigate this fast moving energy around these curves, being expert racing drivers. I'm a writer, yet words aren't covering it now. Yeah, that's the same. It's the same for me. I guess I'm finding words, but I know that that's when I've been sitting with clients, especially this last week, in these new energies, I feel that I'm becoming more conversant with the energies. I'm able to articulate it more, but still I don't have the expansive vocabulary that I would say is attributed to my three-dimensional world experience. But we will get there, we'll make up new words, but I feel also that it is that we are working with the energies. And so the energies, we can feel the energies and they can't lie, and they can be so all encompassing of feelings and experiences. So I thank you for coming, and I wish you a beautiful week, and I'm sure that I'll be back in here when I get a moment. It still is pretty noisy here from the building contractors across the road, and they start early, but then they're not doing their thing right now, so that's why I figured that I'll be on sort of more in this evening time, which is perhaps not so good for people who are on in the northern hemisphere, but it works well for us. Thank you. Thank you, Ciala, and blessings and much love to all of you from my heart to yours and from the heart of Gaia. Good night.